In 1954, the mysterious veil masking the face of the Banpo people was finally lifted. In ancient antiquity, Banpo had been a paradise on earth, a veritable Garden of Eden. And so surrounding it was a trench about 8 meters wide and 6 meters deep to make it inaccessible to outsiders. These are the remains of a typical living area in ancient times of a type that was very common along the Weihe River. The people living within were cut off from the outside world. Most such communities consisted of around 100 dwelling rooms housing a total of around 500 people, all of whom lived by growing what we call today millet. About 8,000 years ago, people living on the eastern Taihang Mountains had developed the species of millet from wild grass.
在50年代，我们就在一些新石器时代遗址发现了树，发现了鼠。但是最震撼的一次是在河北武安慈山这个遗址，发现了几百个教穴。这个教穴呢都是那个藏粮食的，中国就成了鼠和树最早栽培的国家和最早发展为汉地农业体系的一个国家。一直到汉代以前，中国的黄河流域主要的农作物就是黍和粟。那么中国的北方的这个文明就是在这种农业的基础上产生的。
All the tools used in farming were made of stone or animal bones. Fields were ploughed using stone spades, crops were harvested with stone knives, and grain was shelled using stone hullers. But as well as engaging in farming, Banpo people fished and hunted, and they depicted these activities in decorative paintings on pottery utensils. Red paint can still be seen inside this inkstone that belonged to some unknown artist. This pottery pot with a small mouth and pointed base required considerable ingenuity to make. When lowered into water, it automatically falls to receive water, and when full, rights itself. Banpo people knew how to make creative use of the principles of gravity and balance. Yangshao culture is found in the Weihe River areas in the western part of present-day Hunan province and the southern part of Shanxi province, spans a very long period of history, from 7,000 to 5,000 years ago. And as it happens, the vast area the culture encompasses matches descriptions in sagas about the legendary Huang Di.
这皇帝的时候，他传说里面他做了这么些事儿，啊，我们看看这个阶段的考古的遗存，它有没有这些事情？确实有了。从这个角度来讲，这个皇帝的传说呢也不虚，也不虚。而且后面既然我们中国人都认为我们是皇帝的子孙，或者我们是炎黄的子孙、炎黄的遗胄，那么它就成了一个文化现象。这个文化现象呢，对于团结我们民族，它起了很好的凝聚作用。
Yangshao culture, as found in the Weihe River area, spans a very long historical period, from 7,000 to 5,000 years ago. In fact, legend has it that Huangdi and Yandi both originated from the Weihe River area at around the time of Yangshao culture.
A branch of Yangshao culture spread north along the Fenhe River east to the Yellow River, where it met another developed culture, now named Hongshan culture, in the northern part of present-day Hebei province. After conducting field research in a place called Hongshan in Chufeng City in Inner Mongolia in 1908, Chinese and foreign archaeologists decided to name what they had found Hongshan culture. In 1981, a stone tomb was found in Liaoning province in northeast China at a place called Niaoheliang in Jianping County. Confirmed as being 5,500 years old, the site consisted of a large pile of rocks on top of a tomb, a method of burial now known to be typical of Hongshan culture. When the huge stone slab and the dust of history were removed, a number of surprising finds were revealed. There were no pottery objects inside this tomb, but there was plenty of jade. The owner of the tomb had clearly been a great lover of jade. A jade dragon had been placed on his chest, a telling reference perhaps to why contemporary Chinese call themselves even today the descendants of the dragon. This is a world of stone built on top of a mountain by Hongshan people who believed that by doing this, the dead could get closer to heaven. However, these huge rocks were not from close by. They had been brought here from a site 15 kilometers away, and this had required considerable manpower. Who would have been able to mobilize so many people for such a huge project? Stone steps about a meter high kept the owner company for thousands of years. From the size of the steps, it seems clear that the owner must have been a royal. The triple ring stone altar is particularly interesting. The diameter of the outer ring is exactly twice that of the inner ring. This is probably the result of observations of the orbit of the Sun during points in summer and winter using the traditional Chinese calendar. Is this evidence of the discovery of astronomical principles 5,000 years ago? After restoration, pieces of broken pottery found beside each ring formed a hollow barrel-like object, apparently not for any practical use. It would appear this object was used for some kind of religious purpose, perhaps communicating with heaven. From what they found, the archaeologists concluded that this site, 150 meters long east to west and 80 meters wide south to north, was used for worship ceremonies. The triple ring stone altar was for worshipping heaven, the stone tomb for worshipping the earth. The idea that the sky is round and the earth is square was an ancient belief in China that lasted all the way up to the 19th century. In Hongshan culture, the coffins for the dead were made of stone. But where did people stay when they were alive? In woods close to the site, pieces of clay sculptures and the jawbones of a bear were found. The proportions of the broken pieces caused the archaeologists to be astounded at the size of the original sculptures, as the highest had been 5 meters tall. The sculptures had slender fingers, round shoulders and well-developed breasts, all suggesting they'd been part of a group sculpture depicting a number of women. Further studies disclosed that this place had been a temple housing a goddess. What became clear was that 5,000 years ago in the Liaohe River area of China's north, there had existed a powerful kingdom, the ruler and people of which had built a huge worship site comprising the temple of the goddesses, an altar, and 13 stone tombs scattered over an area of around 50 square kilometers.
近年来呢，我们更多认识到，中国自古以来是一个多地区、多民族的国家，是吧？它在不同的地区、不同的民族，都对于呢我们共同的这个传统文化的形成起着很重要的贡献和作用。不仅是在黄河流域，我们看还有长江流域，还有这甚至更南的地区。 是吧？往北的话呢，你比方说这个辽河流域也很重要，甚至于更北的地区。那么就是说呢，这种不同的性质的这个古代文化，它互相影响、互相融合最后汇集在一起，再形成了这个灿烂辉煌的中华文明。
While the Yellow River area and the other areas in China's north were developing their own cultures, the Yangtze River area in China's south quickened its steps towards the era of civilization.
Two distinct regions claim to have given birth to Chinese agriculture. It was along the Yellow River that the first corn and millet were grown, and the Yangtze was the birthplace of rice cultivation. Well, we've seen something of the cultures that emerged along the Yellow River in the north. As for the Yangtze, we'll examine its progress towards civilization in our next episode. And please stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us on today's New Frontiers. I'm Ji Xiaojun from CCTV International. Bye for now.